Hello, everyone. It's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland Reviewer, and welcome to Lost in the Wasteland, my weekly show where I interview somebody about their perspective on movies. So we get to hear a lot about their favorites, different kinds of things. And this week, I have an old friend here named Sid. So Sid and I go way back until when Sid was in middle school. So this is our first time actually talking things where I'm not trying to tutor him math or something. So this is going to be fun. So go ahead, Sid.
Hi, my name is Sid Srivastava. I'm a freshman at Rutgers University studying criminal justice on a pre-law track. Um, Shane tutored me in middle school and high school, on and off sometimes because he had other responsibilities. But yeah, and I'm here to share my perspective on movies. Yeah,
Awesome. Because I know there was plenty of times that we got distracted and
yes,
talked
there
about
definitely were.
movies. So
Yep.
this time, that's the point of what we're doing here. So you don't have to
hmm
feel bad. So I'd like to start things off with probably the most asked question of anybody who likes movies, and that is, Sid, what's your favorite movie?
See, this is always a hard question because it's like what situation, I'd say overall, in terms of the um a movie that I could watch whenever and always really enjoy it, it would probably be Pulp Fiction because Pulp Fiction it mixes a lot of very good, it's a funny movie, it has good drama, it has good action, it has basically everything you'd ever want in a movie. I'd say the best movie I've ever watched is definitely 2001: A Space Odyssey, but you need to be in a very specific mood to enjoy it. So it's you can't watch 2001: A Space Odyssey on your iPad. That's the thing.
The irony is they have iPads in it.
They do.
But yeah, you probably don't want to watch that on your iPad. You want to watch that on the biggest screen you could possibly find. And
Mhm.
one day I'll watch it in the theater.
I
Because
yeah, I hope they have it in IMAX someday because I would definitely go.
they had it, I think, at the Franklin Institute at that IMAX theater that they have, and that would have been amazing. But I don't think you could really argue with Pulp Fiction when it comes to people's favorite movies. There's definitely plenty of people I've had on this show, including my very close friends, Matt and Alex, who are huge Tarantino fans who will love to talk about Pulp Fiction whenever. Pulp
Mhm.
Fiction will make you laugh, it'll make you feel uncomfortable, and it'll excite
Very
you.
uncomfortable.
Very
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Well, at least Zed's dead, baby.
That's
But
good.
also has killer soundtrack because whenever
Mhm.
Miserlou comes on, I get excited.
Mhm.
So alrighty, Sid. So, what's your earliest memory of going to the movies?
That's a good question. Earliest memory. Uh, Shoot. Um, Probably watching like one of the Pixar movies in theaters. I forget which one though. Maybe I remember as a kid, I don't know if I watched it in theaters, but I think I did. I really loved Cars as a kid. Like I had the Lightning
Okay.
McQueen TV and I had this little portable DVD player, which I'd watch Cars on all the time. Uh, so that was my favorite movie as a little kid. So I guess you could go with that. Even though
Awesome.
I'm not sure. I mean, Cars came out in what, 2006? So I probably watched it in theaters.
Yeah,
But
Cars is a fun movie, and it has some
mhm,
nice moments and everything. And it's very interesting because obviously Cars made Pixar a lot of money, a lot of
yeah,
merchandising. So, which
mhm,
is why we have three Cars movies. And it
yeah,
took like 14 years for them to make another Incredibles movie.
mhm,
But Cars is fun. Rest in peace, Paul Newman.
yeah,
The
yeah.
Hudson Hornet.
Looking back, I can acknowledge Cars isn't the best Pixar movie, but as a kid, I just oh, the cars went vroom vroom. That's pretty fun. So, you know,
Sounds like a kid. And had Larry the
mhm.
Cable Guy in it,
It
who,
did.
who was so famous in 2006, 2007.
Mhm.
Now, Sid, do you have a particular favorite genre of movies?
Um, I'd say probably sci-fi because well, actually, it depends what counts as sci-fi. Like if you
Okay.
count Harry Potter as sci-fi or but that's more fantasy. I
More
guess
fantasy.
sci-fi fantasy kind of for example, is the MCU sci-fi or is it fantasy? That's a good question.
Well, and that's an interesting thing because I you could argue that it's a mix of both because obviously
Mhm.
it deals with science fiction themes. So like Captain America, Iron Man, and like Ultron, like that's all science fiction-y kinds of things. But then the
Mhm.
second you bring in like, well, even if you watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's like, is it aliens, robots, or sorcerers? And it's
Mhm.
just like, when you have stuff like Doctor Strange, obviously that's not science fiction. But I do
Mhm.
remember seeing the first Thor movie in theaters and them being like, magic's just science you don't understand. So I guess they were trying to explain Thor away as science. So, but I'd probably lean towards a little bit more fantasy, but like that's the thing. They're both very heavy genre kinds of genres. This isn't just like a straight up drama or anything like that. So,
Yeah. Like I like movies that have like some levity, but also know how to take themselves seriously. So like a lot of movies in that genre are like that.
especially
Mhm.
Marvel movies.
Yeah.
They definitely have their moments, but you'll definitely laugh,
Uh-huh.
especially if you're watching Thor. You'll laugh
The
a
new
lot.
Thor. Yeah.
Thor Ragnarok, and then he makes you cry in Infinity War and stuff like that. It's just like I didn't agree on to go on this field trip right now.
Mhm.
But Sid, do you have a particular favorite filmmaker?
That's a good question. It's probably either Nolan or Tarantino. Well, right now, like currently active. I really like Kubrick too, but obviously he's been dead for like 20 years. So,
Yeah,
um, yeah, I don't know. I think, see, with Tarantino, he's very good, but his films are kind of formulaic to where he has a very particular style, which is great. But like, with Nolan, he's more willing to push boundaries and like do new things. So I'd say if I had to just watch a movie for fun, I'd probably pick Tarantino. But if I wanted to like think during the movie, I would watch Nolan. So,
that's a very fair way of splitting that up because
Mhm.
I don't know how much deep thinking you have to do watching a Quentin Tarantino movie. It's pretty straightforward, but
Mhm.
then I'm pretty sure Christopher Nolan's out there to confuse you.
Mhm.
And then you watch Tenet, and it's just like
Oh, Tenet. I really enjoyed it, but I had to watch like so many explainer videos to understand what was going
it's
on.
like don't think about it, feel it. I'm like, don't tell me how to live my life, Christopher Nolan. Like
Yeah.
I should be able to understand your movie. But watching that at a drive-in was an interesting experience.
Yeah. I can imagine.
At least I got to control the volume.
That's true.
That was probably the biggest thing.
Mhm.
I'm also a huge fan of Christopher Nolan and Stanley Kubrick. Tarantino is definitely up there too, but I definitely know other people that love Tarantino more than I do. But
Mhm.
now, Sid, do you have any particular favorite actors or actresses?
Um, huh. I have a lot of actors and actresses I really like, so that's a hard one. I'd say in hmm, like there's like comedic actors, dramatic actors, actors who can do it all. So it's like it's difficult. And there's
Throw
actors
some
like
out.
who, what?
Said
Yeah,
just throw some out there then.
I really like Lakeith Stanfield.
Mhm.
He's really good, but like at the same time, I feel like in most of his movies he just plays himself, but he's really good at it. I love Samuel L. Jackson, and I don't understand how he didn't win an Oscar for Pulp Fiction, but
I think a lot of people would agree with you.
he's
And
so good. Oh my
I've had
god.
that argument with a lot of people, and I
Mhm.
am somebody that will defend that Martin Landau did a great job in Ed Wood.
Mhm.
But Jules from Pulp Fiction is something
Yeah,
special.
I think what's his name? Uh, the guy who plays Hans Landa, Christoph Waltz is really good. Though
Yep.
he's only really good in Tarantino movies, so but he's so good in them. Uh, okay, trying to think of um, I have a lot of actors and actresses I like, if you can't tell. Elizabeth Olsen was amazing in WandaVision. I want to see more of her stuff because it's interesting how as when they were kids, like her twin sisters were way more famous than her, but now the average person my age probably doesn't know who the Olsen twins are, but they'll know who Elizabeth Olsen is.
The funny thing
Um,
is, if you're a girl, you've probably bought some kind of clothing or some kind of makeup that was owned by them. They're definitely still filthy rich. Like,
yeah, I mean, I don't think they're complaining, but
but
yeah.
obviously they're not really acting anymore. So
Mhm. Yep. Uh, yeah, I guess I threw out a few names.
I
Um,
appreciate it.
I I can't think of. I mean, I could probably think of way more people, but I just That's what's his name? The guy who plays the Mandalorian. Pedro Pascal. Really love him. He was great in Narcos too.
Yeah, I'm excited to see him in the Last of Us.
Oh, there's a Last of Us movie? I've never played the game, but I heard it was really
I
good.
think it's an HBO series. I think they're making,
Oh,
and he got
interesting.
cast in it. So
Yeah, I think it fit the role well. I mean, I never played the game because I don't have a PlayStation, but I heard it's really good.
I am a Nintendo person, so I don't have a whole lot of PlayStation or Xbox things. Literally was just playing the new Pokemon Snap. So tons of fun, tons of nostalgia. So you did answer this one a little bit earlier, but Sid, what's a film that you feel like you literally just pop in and watch any day?
Any day, actually, okay, so maybe not Pulp Fiction any day because it's kind of long. So if I just pick one that I could just pop in and watch and enjoy, it would probably have to be like one of the Pixar movies, but not one of the ones that would make you sad, like Up, like one of the more lighthearted ones. So like maybe like, that's a good question. Or one of the MCU movies that's like just easy watching, but like it's fun. Probably one of I really like Guardians 1. I think that would be good.
That is definitely one of those movies you could just pop in. I know I could listen to Awesome Mix Volume 1.
Yeah.
Pop that in, listen to some Blue Swede, Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah.
It definitely has its moments that are a little bit emotional, but like it's just a bunch of fun. Like it literally ends on a dance off. Like, come on, which the internet seems to love a lot. Now, Sid, what's a film that you feel like you have a special connection to because it relates to another interest of yours?
That's a good question. I can definitely think of some TV series. For movies, because I'm very interested in like government and law. So I'm trying to think what would be a good one for that. Huh.
You could
there's this movie called the Rainmaker. Yeah, by Francis Ford Coppola. It's one of the most accurate legal movies ever. It's about, I think it was Matt Damon or something. No, yeah, young Matt Damon. He becomes a lawyer and he has to like represent this like guy who's been wronged by a health insurance company. And like it sounds really boring, but it is interesting to me.
It's a John Grisham novel, so you know it has to do with law. I'm partial to A Time to Kill. That's definitely my favorite John Grisham adaptation. And if I could listen to Samuel L. Jackson say, "Yeah, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell," I could listen to that any day. And Matthew McConaughey as a lawyer long before Lincoln Lawyer. So I appreciate that. So I can appreciate The Rainmaker. And like, if you want to talk about some of those TV shows that popped in your head, that's fine too.
Oh yeah. In that case, Better Call Saul for sure. I love Better Call Saul because I just love the Breaking Bad universe in general. But like seeing it's so cool how they like intertwine the plot with like Gus Fring and everyone like with the drugs and the lawyer's plot and then like whatever Mike is up to. It's so cool how they intertwine all the plots well. And the trial scenes are so good in that show. Even though there aren't that many anymore, they're still so good.
Yeah. I know the first couple of seasons just loving that tense relationship between Jimmy and Chuck.
Yeah.
So great.
I can't wait for season 6. It's gonna be to see how the black and white stuff like wraps up. And then I don't know where they take the universe of Breaking Bad from here. Because the thing is, AMC doesn't really have anything else. So what are they gonna do with it?
Well, I guess they have Walking Dead and they keep milking that for like 50 different spin-offs.
Yeah, exactly. So they're gonna I think they're gonna try something, but I have no idea if Vince Gilligan's gonna be down with it. That's the thing.
Hey, if it keeps making AMC money, I'm sure they'll keep trying to get Vince Gilligan to do things. But what I appreciate about him is that he knows when to stop.
Exactly. Like Breaking Bad stopped at the exactly right time. I feel like Better Call Saul is going to too. And I'm sure whatever comes next is going to be. The thing is, every character in Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad will have their arc wrapped up by the end of it. So I don't know where they go. They're probably just going to have to make another prequel. Don't know where they're going to go with that.
But. Well, I don't know. After El Camino, you never know where that had. Because did you get a chance to watch that?
I haven't seen it. I know how it ends though because I saw a spoiler. Like Jesse goes to Alaska, right?
So you never know. Maybe something goes with Jesse.
Maybe.
Oh man, seeing Jesse Plemons again in that made me so angry. Oh, I hate him so much in Breaking Bad.
Todd, yeah, he's an interesting character because he always like is very polite to people, but was also incredibly evil at the same
Yes.
time.
Well,
He's all like a Lalo in Better Call Saul. Like
uh,
Lalo's a very nice guy, but he's also like pretty diabolical.
the all the characters are so great.
Hmm.
And like I can't wait to figure out what they're doing with Kim for season 6.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna kill her. Like some of my friends think they will. I don't know if Jimmy would be the way he is in Breaking Bad if Kim died. That's the thing. So, I mean, a lot of people use humor as a coping mechanism, so it could be that.
Maybe he
We'll
just
see.
gives up and he's just like, I'm just gonna be this
Mhm.
a strip mall lawyer. Better
Yep.
call Saul Goodman. I love Bob Odenkirk so much.
Yeah. Have you seen Nobody?
Yes,
Yeah, I watched it in the Rutgers Theater. It was very good movie. I hope they do a sequel at some point. They
oh,
did set it up.
if it makes enough money, they will.
Uh-huh.
What makes, because like it's from the same writer as John Wick, and I'm like, you can tell.
Yeah.
It made me sad that Derek Kolstad's not involved in John Wick 4 and 5. I'm like, no, they
Mhm.
better not ruin it. But I'm still gonna go see them.
Yep.
Um, so Sid, who's a movie character that you feel like you connect with on a personal level?
Uh, See, one problem with being Indian is that there aren't that many people that look like me for movie characters.
That is very
So,
fair.
uh, but I guess just as a person, um, I really related to Wally. Like I watched Wally recently, and he's a very relatable character. Like, he's just trying to make it in this world. He's I don't
False in
know.
love,
Yeah.
hopeless romantic,
Uh-huh.
and then some goddamn autopilot wants to get in the way of him having a happy life.
Exactly.
That's why we can't trust the machines.
Uh-huh. Oh, also Rocky. I watched the original Rocky and I forgot how like well they handled his character development in that movie. Because
Yeah.
like I as a kid I like Rocky 4 more because like it's a very corny movie, but Rocky 4 is still awesome. But like they didn't really handle his character like as much care as they did in the original
It,
Rocky.
basically, Rocky 4 is 90 minutes of like 6 montages strung together
Uh-huh.
and like musical numbers because like
Uh-huh.
James Brown and everything. But like I think that's the crazy thing. I think a lot of people forget how great of a drama and character study the original Rocky
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, it's very grounded, which is like a big difference between it and like 3 and 4, which are like very goofy movies. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm honestly I'm very interested to see Stallone's Rocky 4 director's cut that's coming out soon.
Oh, really?
Because
That's is
apparently
interesting.
it's supposed to be more serious.
Hmm.
Like they cut the robot out,
The robot. Yeah.
which is like the most 80s thing about the movie. It's like, happy birthday, Polly. And just like, did you change the voice of this robot? Just like Polly all getting creepy with the robot, which
Yeah.
we could do without.
Uh-huh.
We don't
Yeah.
need that in
I don't think
there.
that was needed.
But
Yeah.
I love Rocky Balboa. Like
Uh-huh.
me personally, because like there's a lot of universal things about Rocky that you can appreciate, and he's such a good person. But
Hmm.
like personality wise and just like general like a person, probably not the person that I relate to most, but like
Hmm.
he inspires people so well. And
Hmm.
people wonder why Philly people care so much about a fictional character.
Hmm.
Well, if you question that, screw you, because Rocky's great.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like he embodies everything Philadelphia is about in a way. And it's the same way that like Steve Rogers embodies what Brooklyn likes to think of itself. It's very gentrified now, but like the people in Brooklyn like to think of themselves like Steve Rogers, even though it's not like that anymore. But like that, I'm thankful. Philadelphia is not as gentrified as New York now, so that's good. But it's still getting gentrified. But anyway, uh, yeah, I'm really interested how Creed 3 is going to be because apparently Michael B. Jordan is going to direct it.
Yep.
So that should be interesting.
And Rocky's done. This is just a Creed movie. And
Mhm. Oh
that's
wait,
fine with me.
are they gonna kill Rocky's character? What?
Huh?
Are they gonna kill him off screen? That would not be.
Well,
But
no,
we'll
I think it's
see.
just because, like, at the end, spoiler alert for Creed 2, if you haven't seen Creed 2, he
Mhm.
finds his son, and I think he's just happy being a grandpa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Because, like,
I watched Creed 2 a while ago. I kind of forgot what happened.
yeah, like at the end of the movie, I feel like it's very obvious they're trying to close Rocky's loop.
Mhm.
And, like, I don't
Yeah.
think he needs to be, because, like, I thought they were going to kill him in
Mhm.
Creed with the whole
Mhm.
cancer thing. 100% thought they were going to kill Rocky. Maybe he would have won that Oscar if he had a death scene.
Maybe.
At least he got nominated. That made me
Mhm.
really happy. I
Yeah.
loved Mark Rylance in Bridge of Spies. He was great. They
Mhm.
should have given it to Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, he deserves it, but I don't know. The Academy is seldom fair. Yeah.
They sure put their foots in their mouth this year. It was an interesting ceremony. It's also very boring. It was
Yeah, I
very
didn't. I've stopped watching award shows ever since it was ruined for me by the Grammys. The Grammys are so corrupt, and it's like I know not all of them are like that, but like, who cares, honestly?
I still care about the Oscars,
Mhm.
and I still like they have to either choose one or two things. They either have to make the Oscars like a really entertaining, engrossing show, or
Mhm.
make it an hour
Yeah,
and just like
that's a good point. Yeah,
get
at least with the
through.
Grammys, they have the musical performances. But like,
Mhm.
what did they have with the Oscars? Just like host stand up.
Well, that's the thing because this year they didn't. They pushed all of the musical performances to the pre-show.
That's a very interesting choice.
Well, because everybody's been complaining it's so long. Why do we have to listen to all the songs? And then they moved all the songs off the show, and everybody's like, "What happened to the songs?" And I'm like,
Yeah, that's a. I was watching a Chappelle show last night. Not Chappelle show, just a Chappelle thing where
uh,
he's talking about he's doing this bit about how the black community got mad at him because instead of going to Flint, Michigan to help out like the the kids there and like get clean water, he went to the Oscars instead, and he said that like, man, I'm not a superhero. I can't fix this.
it's a fair point. And it's just like,
The water's dirty. What's Dave Chappelle gonna do? He's like, they have Stevie Wonder there. They don't need me. Yeah, I love Chappelle. I mean, he can be problematic sometimes, but he's so good at what he does.
he is legitimately one of the funniest people out there. Just like light a cigarette, just go at it. Like,
Yeah, see, like teenagers on the internet will be like, "Oh, it's dark humor," and like they'll be like, "Why can't you take a joke?" It's because people like joke about things with no nuance. When Dave Chappelle talks about something that's like dark, he has a lot of nuance to it. He's so good at talking about controversial things in like a very nuanced way.
well, and as somebody who was old enough to watch the Chappelle show, well, honestly, I probably was too young that I shouldn't have been watching the Chappelle show.
One
But
of my friends at Rutgers said that when he was a little kid, his dad would watch Kill Bill with him, which like is insane. I don't
well,
think I'll watch Kill Bill with my kids, but
as
you
somebody
know,
who watched The Godfather when they were 10 years old because my grandfather said it was my culture, like I have a different kind of bar for things. I was like 8 years old watching all the James Bond movies, and I watched South Park when it was first started, and I was 8 years old. So that was my stepbrother's fault. They showed it to me. Uh, but like that happens, and if like I'm biased, but I'm pretty sure I'm a completely fine functioning adult.
yeah,
So
that's
there you
fair.
go. So interesting tangent, but I hope you all enjoyed listening to it. Now, Sid, what's a film that you feel like would surprise people that you love?
That's a good question. I don't know. What would be surprising to people? Like, I guess I would like say like a rom com or something. I don't really watch rom coms, so I know that I could think of some shows that would surprise people that I enjoy.
Sure.
I really enjoyed the Great British Baking Show is very good. But that's like a reality show, so I don't know if that counts.
Sure,
But
why
it's
not?
it's
Hey, this
very
is my
fun.
show. I make the rules, so we can
That's
talk
true.
about that.
Uh, let's see. I'm trying to think. What's another good one that
My
I
girlfriend
enjoyed?
Jess watches that.
Yeah, my
Baking.
mom was watching it one day, and I was like, "Oh, this seems cool." I'm like, I like baking. It's interesting, and
She
yeah,
watches like
it's very
pottery
high
ones
stakes
too.
pottery. That sounds cool.
There's a
Yeah.
pottery competition on HBO Max that you can
Mhm,
watch. I'm pretty sure it's like a great British thing too. So
mhm.
apparently they have great competitions in Great Britain. So I
Yeah,
guess.
they got those shows. They got Love Island. They've got it going on in the UK, I guess. But I'm trying to think what's a movie someone wouldn't expect me to like. It would be like have to be like something like feminine, I guess, because like otherwise, I don't know what would be. I don't know. I can't think of anything at the
Well,
moment, but I'll let you know if I do.
I think it's interesting because like I thought of that because like everybody's like I have guilty pleasures. For me
Mhm.
personally, I honestly don't give a crap. If I
Yeah,
like
like
something, I like it.
mhm.
And you as you can see, I have a giant wall of movies behind me and there's even more
Mhm.
right there.
Oh,
Um,
actually, this is not unexpected, but I actually really like the Star Wars sequels. Like I think I feel like I'm in a huge minority when I say that. It's like whenever I talk to Star Wars fans, I just try to not mention it because like it's like I wasn't into Star Wars before they came out. Like I watched The Force Awakens. I think it was my first Star Wars movie. So I like my love for Star Wars started with the sequels. So I have a different connection to them than most people. So that's probably why.
well, and that's fair. Like I
Mhm,
trust me, I remember I saw Force Awakens with like 12 people
mhm,
in theaters opening night. My
mhm.
brother was dressed head to toe as Kylo Ren. And like I turned to my brother when Kylo Ren started throwing his hissy baby tantrums, and I'm like, huh, that looks familiar. And like I love Force Awakens. I love The Last Jedi.
Mhm.
Rise of Skywalker I thought was kind of dumb in
Yeah, they
many
just didn't
ways.
handle it well because like they just like didn't give a crap about all the development to that point. Like I enjoyed it in the theater, but like I when I rewatch it, it's like yeah, you
It's
know.
basically if this is what they really wanted,
Mhm.
just let J.J. Abrams
Yeah, just
make
let
all
them do
three of
all
the
three.
movies.
Yeah, I think
But
Ryan Johnson set up a lot of cool stuff, but like the fans threw hissy fit and they're all mad at him. It's like okay, well we're gonna ditch Ryan Johnson. Sorry.
well, and Ryan Johnson doesn't give a crap.
Yeah.
He's waltzing on over to Netflix with his $100 million that he got
Mhm.
for making these two Knives Out sequels.
Oh, they're going straight to Netflix with them.
Netflix bought them for $400 million.
That's interesting. I'm very excited for the Knives Out sequels, though. I love Knives Out. I hope
Yeah,
they keep Lakeith Stanfield in it because I loved how like he had the dynamic with
that would
Benoit
be an
Blanc.
interesting addition for the next film because, from what I understand, I think Benoit Blanc is the only character.
Yeah, no,
Like,
probably because he's like a private investigator, right? So
yeah,
like he'll probably just like go to different places.
yeah.
But it would be
Basically,
nice.
it's it's modern Agatha Christie, like
Yeah.
it's Perot.
Hmm.
Except it's it's CSI KFC.
Yeah, the thing is, the cast of the original Lives Out was so good, so it's gonna be hard to recapture that. But I'm
Well,
sure Ryan can do it. We'll see.
I'm sure too. I'm very interested to see who they cast and
Yeah,
what
that
kind of
too.
story it's going to be. But
Mhm.
I definitely agree. I like people hate the sequels of Star Wars so much, and I'm like, they're better than the prequels.
They are. I get chastised when I say that, but like, like outside of Revenge of the Sith, they're not good.
Like Phantom Menace, watching that now because I remember seeing that in theaters with my aunt and her older gentleman friend who both fell asleep. And I'm sitting there watching Phantom Menace like I was 8 years old watching
Mhm.
that in theaters and being like, this is the best thing ever. And like watching it now, I'm like, everything's so wooden. The
Yeah,
acting
like
is terrible in it. I'm just
yeah.
like,
The only good actor in the whole thing is what's his face, Alan McGregor. He's good, but
yeah.
like everyone else is not good.
Well, even in Phantom Menace, he didn't really have a whole lot to do. But like, come
Yeah,
Attack of the Clones, Ewan McGregor's like, I'm gonna steal every moment of these next two movies, and which is
yeah,
why everybody still loves like Hello There. And God, if you anyone my age, if you like any guy my age, honestly, that if you say hello there in front of them, they're gonna be like General Kenobi, and just like, oh my God. Because memes. That's
yeah,
honestly the reason there's so many prequel defenders is 100% because of memes.
yeah. No, that's definitely a big part of it because
They
like they do have great memes.
Like the memes are great.
Uh-huh.
The first two, like Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones, are not great movies.
Yeah,
They
by
have
no
great memes
means.
though,
Uh-huh. They
and
really messed up Padme's arc because like they set her up pretty well in Phantom Menace, and then she just became like a damsel in distress for the rest of the series.
you're killing me, Annie. I'm so sad.
It's only because I'm so in love. Yeah,
George Lucas's love story dialogue is trash.
it's not
Like,
good.
like the main things that I dislike about the of Revenge of the Sith, because I love a lot about Revenge of the Sith. Stupid love dialogue. Ugh. No, you won't die because I won't let you die. Oh, thanks, Anakin. So profound.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Sid,
Mhm.
my last question for you is what do you love so much about movies?
I think that's a good question. Uh, well, I don't know. I love the variety of them and the fact that they're like unlike TV shows, the commitment of movies is not as much, you know? Like when you're watching a TV show, it's like a major time commitment. When you watch a movie, it's like a few hours. You can just watch it with your well, you can watch TV with your friends too, but like, you know, it's a lot more like confined and in a good way. But like I don't know, the cinematic medium is just very fascinating to me. Like the way that filmmakers have been using it over the years and how it's developed. Like, you know, with filmmaking in the 60s versus how it is now. It's very interesting to me. That's why one of my favorite movies is I think this movie's underrated. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think a lot of people didn't like it. My mom said it was really boring. I was like, this is pretty cool because like it's cool to see Tarantino pay homage to that era because like a lot of what Hollywood is today is because of that golden age of Hollywood in the 60s
Yeah,
and stuff.
I love the music so
It's so
much from
good.
that movie.
Uh,
And Cliff Booth is one of the coolest characters ever put to film.
he is so cool. I
So
mean,
cool.
I was a little bit mad when he was able to beat Bruce Lee in a fight because like, it's kind of unrealistic. But you know, I can't. You know, it's part of his mythos, I
If
guess.
I fight somebody and accidentally kill them, I go to jail. If you accidentally kill anybody in a fight, you go to jail. It's called manslaughter. Like, and yes, hey, that's the very strange thing about the movie of like mixing real people and fake people. Because like
Yeah.
you could make Cliff Booth. Maybe Cliff Booth was one of the coolest badass fighters in the history of Hollywood in the
Mhm.
context of that. So then it makes sense that he could beat up Bruce Lee. But to us, we're just like, no. Are you
Yeah,
Chuck Norris? I don't
exactly.
think.
I don't even think Chuck Norris could if they actually fought. But anyway, that's a separate debate. But
Chuck Norris believes he would win that fight.
do
So,
you
but
think that Cliff Booth killed his wife? I don't know. He feels like I don't know. It's I kind of hate Tarantino for leaving it up to interpretation.
I would I would love to think that he didn't because I love Cliff Booth too much.
Yeah, he
But
doesn't
like
seem
if he
like the type
killed
of
his
guy who would.
wife, that's a whole bag of worms I don't want to deal with. Because
Yeah.
if he's a murderer, then you're just kind of like, I can't like you anymore. And then you have Leo, who's just so neurotic and so like it's so interesting seeing Leonardo DiCaprio, who is one of the most famous, most talented, well decorated actors of a generation, just being a complete washed up has been, which
Yeah.
Leo will never be that, which is so interesting and funny to watch.
Yep.
But I really love the film. I rewatched it recently. I watched it actually. I watched it the night before Easter. Yeah, and it was just like I have some issues with the ending because
I
like
didn't like it.
from a entertainment and movie perspective, I loved it. From like it's weird what
Yeah,
he
I
chose
mean,
to do with it.
yeah, like I guess but like do you really want to show the audience what actually happened, you know?
Well, that whole entire thing is this whole movie and the idea of it is tricky because, like, did you really need to include that? Because arguably, you could just cut out Margot Robbie from the whole entire movie,
Mhm.
and it really wouldn't affect the movie.
That's
Her
true. Now
scenes
I
are
think about it.
awesome, and she's great.
Mhm.
But, like, that's the weird thing. The whole alternate history thing, I think, is very hit or miss with people. And, like, I didn't mind it at all in
Mhm.
Inglorious Bastards because,
Mhm.
like, it's a bigger, broader historical context. It
Mhm.
it was a little weird to me in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but sitting and watching it as a film, I enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's like it isn't the same as like yeah with Inglourious Bastards or Django because like those are very cathartic, you know.
Yeah,
Like just seeing a black guy kill all the racists or seeing Jews kill all the Nazis is just an inherently cathartic thing for like any rational person, you know. But
watching
with
two fictional, just random people take out the Manson family
Mhm.
seems odd. It was odd to me. But the thing is, if you just think about it in the context of the film and like Cliff and Rick defending their turf,
Mhm.
that whole entire scene was crazy fun.
Yeah, it was
So
great.
I think
Mhm.
it depends on how deeply you want to think about it in terms of the context. But that's the beauty of film. You can
Mhm.
have conversations about it. Many people spend a lot of time on the internet talking about it, including myself. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty cool thing.
Mhm.
But now, Sid, always wrap up the show with my guest asking me a question. So, what would
Hmm.
you like to ask me?
Let me think for a second. Um, what do you think of the fact that more and more like major productions are going from being movies to miniseries? Like the MCU is going to be very miniseries centric in the future. The DCU is possibly going to be the same way. Do you think that is a good thing or a bad thing that a lot of more things that would traditionally be movies are becoming miniseries on streaming?
Um, for the MCU and I guess for the DC films, it doesn't really bother me because, to be perfectly frank, we're still going to get as many movies with the
Mhm.
MCU as we were getting before. Like, we're literally getting 4 this year and 4 next year. It's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy.
And then we get like all these other TV shows.
Mhm.
I think it's cool because, like, I love the MCU so much. I can't wait to see all the different things you can do with it. I'm just
Mhm.
confused about what DC's doing, to be perfectly honest, because there's
Mhm.
doesn't seem to be any kind of focus with it.
Yeah, I think the plan right now is for the Flashpoint movie to figure out all the timelines and stuff. But honestly, how are they going to do that in a movie? Like, if anything needs to be a miniseries, Flashpoint would probably be it because
Well,
there's a lot to unpack there.
it wouldn't be the first time. They did it with X-Men Days of Future Past, which honestly is one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. It's just a matter of what they did after.
Oh yeah, they
Wasn't the
said
great.
it. Yeah, if they
Like,
could have just landed about Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix,
well,
but I mean,
Apocalypse
X Men would have come to wouldn't have come to the MCU, so you know, worked out.
Apocalypse is a mixed bag because there's things I love about Apocalypse, and there's things that are like, what the hell were you thinking? And then with Dark Phoenix, it just honestly feels like they're like that train fight scene is one of the coolest action sequences in comic book movies. But as a whole, the movie is just bland, boring, and just like, what's going on here? But like in general, I think it's better for like I'm one to not I don't think streaming's a bad thing for the future of content creation because I feel like it's going to give more people more access to more resources to do their art. And I think one of the biggest examples of and like I'll get specifically to the series versus movies, but like Wolfwalkers, Cartoon Saloon is such a tiny animation studio, but they're on Apple TV Plus. And that's really cool. Honestly, I kind of want Leica to show up on streaming because honestly, they're not making money in theaters, so hopefully they make an impact on streaming. My two favorite animated films of 2020 were both streaming. I love Shaun the Sheep Farmageddon, which was a Netflix movie. But in terms of movies versus series, in a world where I can get The Queen's Gambit, which is such an amazing miniseries, And it had originally been planned to be a movie at some point with Heath Ledger directing or something like that before he passed away. I don't think that's a bad thing. Some stories deserve to be fleshed out. And I think, honestly, to me, as long as they're quality, that doesn't really bother me. But I think in the future, like movies and TV have changed forever because TV didn't used to be a big place for like high quality content. Now in a world where like The West Wing was a thing or Breaking Bad was a thing, Better Call Saul, Newsroom, and like so many things now, like look at Falcon the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Like that's a TV, it's a mini series and
Mhm.
it's so big in scale. It didn't feel like it, like it felt like a TV show because like they cut the story up and so perfectly to keep you guessing. They did the same thing with WandaVision.
Mhm.
And like I'm still looking forward to sitting in a theater watching Thor Love and Thunder and
Mhm.
Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Like I think those are going to be really cool, but in terms of everything, I think I'm more okay with it than some people, but I do appreciate movies in a way that it's like you mentioned it before, it's less of an investment.
Mhm.
Like trying to stream a whole entire 10 episodes of like hour long episodes, that's literally a 10-hour investment.
Mhm.
And if I could invest 2 hours watching a movie, which is the funniest thing, because I know so many people, especially my friend Matt, who'd be like, yeah, I'm not really feeling watching a movie right now, and then winds up watching 10 episodes of The Office, and then you're just like, you literally watched more than a movie. So it's so interesting that way. But I'm more on the side of I'm more okay with the shifts in content as long as I'm just hoping that movies will still be in theaters after all this and you can still
Mhm.
get the theater experience because I miss it.
Yeah, I miss it too.
Like being able to be in a dark room with a big screen, the surround sound, and my phone away and no
Mhm.
distractions is so much better than sitting at home with so many things to distract you.
Mhm.
But, you know, I still enjoy there's a lot of TV shows that I absolutely love. I definitely have watched more TV in the past couple of years than I did since I started college. Because once I
Mhm.
started college, I didn't really watch TV anymore.
Mhm.
But TV is an awesome place to find a lot of great things, including streaming shows too. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, that's my long roundabout way of talking about your question, Sid. So,
Mhm. Okay, follow-up question. This is a much smaller one, but do you prefer the way Netflix releases their series, like all the episodes at once, or do you like the once a week
oh,
model?
that's an easy question for me because I hate the whole dump a whole series thing because
Mhm.
like honestly sometimes I just schedule myself to watch it spaced out anyway because like I love the feeling like that's Fridays are so special to me because I know I'm going to come home from work and have the next Marvel episode to watch, whether it
Yeah,
was WandaVision.
I do it in the mornings because I don't want to get it spoiled.
Oh
Like
well,
right when I wake up, I watch every Friday.
I watch them with my girlfriend, so like I have to wait until we're both done work, and
That's
I
fair.
can't go on Twitter, I
Mhm.
can't go on any websites because people are assholes and are going to ruin it.
Mhm.
But like for me, I love that feeling of I grew up when I watched TV, it was like network television and watching it.
Mhm.
And I love the feeling of that anticipation.
Mhm.
Watching the last two seasons of Game of Thrones were so great. Like you can argue the quality of the last season of Game of Thrones. I know a lot of people hated it, but
Mhm.
you cannot argue with that feeling that all the buzz that built up over the course of that week when you're just like, what the hell is going to happen next?
Mhm.
And that's such a great feeling. What I hate the most though is like what HBO Max does.
What do they do?
They
I don't have
drop
HBO
it like
Max.
3 or 2 episodes per week. I'm like,
Uh,
do
yeah,
one
what's
or
the
the
point?
other.
Yeah, like why are you trying to be in the middle? I think it depends on the series. Like if it's a series like The Office, where like there wouldn't be that much buzz between episodes because it's not very dramatic or anything. Or
Yeah.
like SpongeBob or something, you can drop them all at once. But if there's like plot tension and stuff, I think once a week makes a lot more sense. Like for WandaVision, right? The build up and all the theories and everything. Oh my God. It was like the buzz was insane during one of
It
the
sure was. Honestly, the buzz kind of killed some things,
Yeah, it did.
honestly, about it because people ran away with themselves.
Oh my
Um,
God. The theories for Loki are going to be insane too, because we know that's going to be crazy.
so I'm not going to spoil anything about Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm just glad like the biggest mystery of a particular character was pretty obvious,
Mhm.
that it was just like people weren't being like
Mephisto.
Mephisto.
I
Is
remember.
is Mephisto the power broker? Um like like
Someone said out of the first episode is Red Wing Mephisto because he's red.
I that's everybody else's fault. Like if
Yeah.
you built your nobody guaranteed Mephisto was going to be in WandaVision. So if people got so hooked up on that and were disappointed, that's on them.
Yeah.
But like I love the build up and you make a good point cuz like I watch Bob's Burgers still and like it comes out once a week and it's a 20-minute episode without commercials and it's like it's like I do appreciate like obviously there's not a whole lot of build up. I'm like I can't wait for the next Bob's Burgers episode. But there's also shows that like BoJack Horseman where like I binged those whole seasons when they dropped because I couldn't help myself. And like most recently what was it that came out? Like my girlfriend Jess and I watched Rutherford Falls, the new Michael Schur show on Peacock. It was 10 episodes and we binged through all 10
It's
episodes.
like Michael Schur's the Office and Parks and Rec guy, right?
Yeah,
Is it a sitcom or is it a serious show?
it's a sitcom.
Okay. I
It
was
well, it
wondering if
deals with a lot of serious indigenous people themes and
oh,
ideas, but like
interesting.
it's still like it's funny. It has Ed Helms in it. He's the main character, so you know.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen ads for that. It's like where he's like being really like he's like the elitist dude
Well,
or
it's
something.
more of like he is so ignorant of the fact that like he is so absorbed in his family's legacy as the founders of this town, and all the Native Americans are just like, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's basically it. And like Ed Helms plays a character so perfectly because Ed Helms
Mhm.
can play ignorant and stupid so easy, but like likable enough where you're just like, I'm I feel bad for him, even though how stupid he's acting. So if you haven't watched Rutherford Falls, go check that out on Peacock.
So
Um,
Peacock is free, right? I don't know if I want to get it though. I don't want to fund this whole like. I hate how like divided streaming is becoming. Like I don't want to pay for so many services.
Basically, streaming is going to become the new cable. Like
Yeah,
your
it's
bill for having, like I'm feeling it because I have so many of these streaming services. It's basically like I'm paying for cable.
mhm. Yeah,
Is
at this
I
point.
have Netflix, Prime, which obviously Prime gives you a bunch of other things that I get out
Mhm.
of it, but still Hulu, Disney Plus, HBO Max,
Mhm.
Peacock. I do have the paid version of Peacock.
Mhm.
Criterion Channel. Um, I have a couple of channels on Amazon Prime. Love me some BritBox. Got my
Mhm.
British shows. Um, but like it just so many of that Apple TV Plus, just so
Yeah.
many of them.
There's Paramount Plus now,
I
CBS
have
All
Paramount
Access.
Plus too,
They're probably
which
gonna Sony's probably gonna have one at some point. I feel like who knows?
probably Sony just made a deal with Netflix
Oh really?
that all
That's
their
interesting.
movies are going to come out on Netflix
Oh,
when they come out of theaters.
that is quite exciting. I hope they put all the Spider-Man movies on Netflix.
They are, but here's the thing. Right when their short period of being on Netflix is over, they're now all going to go to Disney Plus.
Hmm. Very
So
interesting.
that's the
I mean,
thing.
if there's one good thing about it though, it's that it motivates the streaming services to actually like. I feel like for a while Netflix is kind of just resting on its laurels and not putting out that much stuff.
Um, well, that's an interesting point that you bring up, Sid, because it's the amount of content they put out versus the quality of their content.
That's true. I mean, there's a lot of terrible stuff that Netflix puts out, but there's some
Um,
good stuff too. I mean, they had the Queen's Gambit. Stranger
yeah,
Things season 4 is going to happen eventually,
yeah.
though
Well,
no one
that's the
knows
thing.
when.
Netflix puts out so much content to keep up with, and I try to keep up on content. It's too much. But the thing is, so many of their content is just trash.
You know what Netflix really fumbled the bag with? They had the Avatar fans and they lost him. Now Nickelodeon's doing Avatar, which I just reminded of it because I'm wearing my Avatar shirt. I don't know why they wanted to do live action. Like, who really wants another live action Avatar thing? Like, I definitely don't. I just want I want them to do more animated shows within the universe. They could just animate the comics, honestly. That would be fun. But anyway.
Well, and they're all going to wind up on Paramount Plus.
That's true. Yeah, Netflix really messed up there.
They're pumping some of the things. It's like they pump so much money into that Ryan Reynolds movie last year. They've pumped a lot of money into like Spencer Confidential with Mark Wahlberg and stuff like that, and they're just not great. And
yeah, see, the thing is, I think their business model is that they need people to subscribe. So there's making new seasons of the same show isn't very incentivized. I think that's probably a big reason why. Like I know, like didn't Daredevil get canceled, and a lot of people like that show. I haven't watched it.
Oh,
but
well, they kind of messed up with that whole entire Netflix Marvel universe. But like, perfect example, BoJack got cut off. Luckily, BoJack did get like 6-7 seasons, but like Ozark's getting canceled. Glow, which is one of the best shows on television, just got canceled without an ending. Made me so mad. The Dark Crystal show, which was
I really hope they don't cancel Narcos Mexico. I'm really looking forward to season 3 of that show.
Oh, they're definitely going to cancel that too, because they just canceled Ozark with their next season's last, and Ozark's like one of the biggest things on Netflix. Mm-hmm. To be honest, it's really hard to compete on quality of shows with HBO.
Yeah, that's true.
And HBO Max has so much stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, and the fact that they're releasing all their movies, Warner movies this year on HBO Max, like I got to watch Mortal Kombat on there, Godzilla vs. Kong.
I watched Godzilla vs. Kong. It's a fun movie. Very good.
Oh, man.
We got a definitive answer on who won too, which I didn't expect. I mean, I expected
Godzilla. I won't say a thing.
Yeah. I was going to say it too, but I was like, I wasn't sure if that was within the rules of the show. But
something that recent, I don't want to be a jerk. I won't say anything. But all I can say is Mortal Kombat and Godzilla vs. Kong are big, dumb movies.
I haven't watched Mortal Kombat, but I might.
Dumb movie. I'd rather watch the 95 one. I want my hashtag bring back Puppet Goro. I want Puppet Goro back. But anyway, so definitely had plenty to talk about there. But this is a lot of fun, Sid. I'm glad that you were able to come onto the show. So and I also appreciated your questions, obviously, because that definitely sparked a lot of questions. But I hope that, wrapping up your freshman year of college at Rutgers, I won't hold that against you. Being working at another R college in New Jersey, because apparently New Jersey can't get enough of R college.
Yeah. Rutgers, Rider, Rowan. Sure, there's more. I just can't think of them.
If you want to throw Richard Stockton in there, just throw the Richard in front. There's another R college. But it was fun talking movies and TV with you, Sid. But thank you for coming on, and thank all of you out there for always tuning in and supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.